All right. 1,
2, 3. Can a man find bliss with a frog if he's not too proud?
Welcome back to Literary Losers. I'm Fran.
And I'm Victor.
And we're snowed in today. We've got nowhere better to be than talking shit with you.
Oh, man,
And
what a dream.
isn't it? Aren't those the best types of days?
Honestly, yeah, I love talking shit about just
nothing better to do than just be a fucking asshole at home.
An asshole in the comfort of our own house.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
We have an update. So originally we told you in our last episode that the next thing that we were going to read was going to be a little something we were calling Summer of My Aryan Boyfriend.
Yes.
Which is exactly what it sounds like, and which Victor had to read when he was going to public school in a red state.
Yeah,
in like middle school.
Yeah, we were asked to read Summer of My Aryan Boyfriend in probably 7th grade.
And it's basically like a romance between
a 12-year-old Jewish girl and a 16-year-old
Nazi
German
boy.
Wehrmacht Nazi soldier who's a POW in like fucking Nebraska or something.
Yeah, and it sounds really bad, but basically what happened, so we found a used copy in a bookshop, we brought it home and we read like the first chapter, but then we looked at like just like the back cover. And it turned out that the author was like a Jewish woman who basically wrote it just to like kind of work through her like trauma with anti-Semitism. And it's just like, that isn't the rich vein of ore that we're looking for on this podcast.
It's not really the vibe that we're going for.
No, I think that changes things. It would be very different if it was like not written by someone Jewish, but because it was, it's like, I'm sorry to disturb you, ma'am.
It's clear that this woman lived through the war and she
went through like some actual shit, so it's like, okay, that's okay. Yeah. But anyway, so
we have come across something far better.
I got this book for free.
I think everyone in college got this book for free. This is the legendary author.
Wait, we shouldn't name drop him though.
Oh, we shouldn't?
We need a fake name for him.
Oh, we don't have one.
Hold on, let me pause this.
Yeah.
When I was a lad, I served a term as office boy to an attorney's firm. I cleaned the windows and I swept the floor, and I polished up the handle of the big front door. I polished up that handle so carefully, but now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
Okay. So this is a book by a man that we are calling Dolce Fuentes.
God.
Dolce Fuentes. Now Dolce
Sorry.
He gives all of his books out for free
on college campuses.
Yeah, mostly on college campuses. And this book, my tentative title of it is A Passport Bro Romance.
A Passport Bro Romance is extremely accurate.
Yeah.
Man,
what is the plot?
A synopsis of the plot is a biologist living in Malaysia meets an American biologist living in Malaysia. Temporarily. Yikes. Meets a Malaysian woman of initially very ambiguous age.
Yeah, because he keeps referring to her as a child.
Yeah, even though they're both in their mid-30s.
Yeah, that was really disorienting. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, so this American biologist is working at a botanical garden in Malaysia, and he meets this woman who was
basically getting pimped out by her dad.
Yeah, and so he pays her dad to date this woman, and it pretty much is the crazy.
That's it.
That's it. There's not a lot that happens.
But she has
in the
trauma,
book.
and her trauma drives him away.
He wants
makes
her
it
to
worse.
he makes it so much worse because he wants her to open up.
Yeah.
And our reading of it is she doesn't want to open up.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to fix her.
And she starts having these massive meltdowns. And whenever she's like not just like being traumatized around him and like quote unquote opening up, then he's like, you're wearing a mask with me and I can't be with you if you're wearing a mask. When really it's just like being an adult and like thugging it out like all of us have to do. Like before we get too much more into the plot.
Yeah.
I want to talk about just like this author and like the circumstances around his book. And I want to talk about good things about the book before we get into bad things too.
So we can start by saying that this is not his first book. He has written 11 books.
11 plus.
11
I think there
plus,
might be more.
All self-published books. This is copyright 2024.
And he gives them all away for free.
Yeah. Like if you look at the back of the book, there's no barcode.
Yeah.
Like
So this is my thing, is Dolce Fuentes he gets like, I don't want to be like the Dolce defense squad here. However, it's really interesting sometimes because when V and I were reading this, I kept being like, okay, like, is this like awesome? No. But it is like functional.
Yeah.
As a novel. And you know what's crazy is like, because we've read self-published crap.
Yes.
But our worst book that we ever read, Life After Genius, that was trad published. And not trad published at like a small company, but trad published at like a big fancy publishing company. Like I don't remember which one, but it was like Hatchet and Brown or something.
Something like that.
It like ridiculously like big wig publishing company, and that was by far the most dysfunctional. Like I had to sage our house after we finished that because it is so cursed and dark-sided, and not in a funny way. It is by far the worst shit we've read.
There's nothing redeemable about that book, period.
No, yeah, and we say that in the episode, and like this is my thing with this book is I'm sort of just like, okay, it's relatively tight. I think the pacing is functional. And it's crazy to me when I look at some of these other books on Goodreads and what they're rated. And it's like, oh, Life After Genius, 3 point something. Oh, the Expelling the Darkness series.
Yeah.
Those are rated like 4 and 5 stars. Like all of them are. Even though they're just terrible.
They're dog shit.
And then you look at this on Goodreads and it's rated 1.7 stars.
Yeah.
And there's tons of fucking people just like flaming it and being like, this is so problematic, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, but problematic or not, and we will get into that, trust me.
Yes.
We will get into the ways it's problematic. But problematic or not, as a book, it is functional. And it's like a lot of the things that I think are flaws, because the main flaws that I see are like, okay, I find his writing style to be overwrought and over-descriptive
and over-edited.
Overwrought, and Kel is very under-characterized. He is very clear, the passport bro, he's very clearly a self-insert.
Yeah, very clearly.
And so for me, like, those are the main things that don't have to do with problematicism that are wrong with the book. But I don't think that warrants giving it a 1.7 stars. And people are just like, on Goodreads, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be the Dolce defense squad, but I do feel a need to speak up a little bit in defense before we talk about the problems with this, is that, and I do feel a need to speak up a little bit, because people in their reviews are always just like, oh, of course he gives it out for free because it's so bad. Well, at least he stands by his fucking art and he's not a sellout like all the rest of you
Yep.
pieces of shit.
Yep.
I go into Barnes & Noble, committee written crap. This is written by Disney corporate fucking robot normies. Like, you know, at least this is a person who's writing their own shit
It's-
and standing by it and not just trying to make a quick buck.
No, and
Bitch.
he's not trying to make any money off of it because again, he gives these out for free. But there's a lot more to it than just that. Like he's real. You can tell that
Talk
he's
about the app.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
you can tell that he's really invested in this as a he always talks about this as a multimedia novel because he has an app
That
for
almost made your phone blow up.
It was very, very, very
How
processor.
big was that?
So I think the app by itself. So
The app by itself was like 100 millibytes.
megabytes.
Sorry,
then we had to download an additional like 1.5 gigabytes of content. But he creates a multimedia like
Experience.
visual experience that he puts into this app for each one of his books.
Well, no, I'm just and this is the thing is we're gonna get into it in a minute why the multimedia experience is bad, but I will say. I'm like, okay, well, at least he's an artist who clearly is interested in being an artist.
Yeah.
At least he has a fucking vision for what he's creating, because some of these other people are putting shit out, and I'm like, you did not even think through the fucking setting. Like, the marketing is inconsistent. Like, this at least is consistent.
This is very
He
consistent.
clearly had a fucking vision. It's a very tropical, sticky, kind of brutal jungle setting. And it's like, well, okay, sure, like, yeah, the passport shit is cringe, and we will talk about that, but, like, it's crazy that it's like, you know, this person may be an artist who morally you disagree with, but he is at least clearly a person who is actually interested in making art.
He's
instead
actually
of just
an artist.
Yeah, instead of actually being like, GPT, come up with a concept for me to fucking, because the writing is flawed enough that I know it's not GPT.
Yeah.
And that's my truth.
This guy wrote this whole ass book and then he put together a multimedia audio visual experience on an application that he paid for and
To get developed.
And he probably paid people, we'll get to this, the interviews,
Yeah.
and he paid for these to get printed and he's giving them out for free. Like,
Yeah, he's like, I'm sinking money into my art. I actually don't want, like, you to give me money to make my art.
yeah.
Literally, fuck you, Goodreads reviewers. At least that's like real integrity.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. Am I missing? Maybe we're missing something, but I think that is actually way more integrity than like Autumn Wazowski, who is like trying so hard to be like, I'm already a famous author and everyone's in love with me.
Buy my merch.
Yeah, buy my like fucking Redbubble t-shirts or whatever.
Like,
that's my Dolce Fuentes defense
that is
moment.
the sandwich. That is the piece, the layer of bread that is the nice part. Now we're getting to the meat of the sandwich, where it is like a mile of just of criticisms. So we were talking about. I think we can go back to the app and then we can get into the story. So because I think this sort of illustrates his attitude towards his art and this story.
It made your phone get so hot.
So first of all, my phone almost caught on fire because it was trying to process a ton of very crazy visuals and audio. And so the way that this app works is that you can download all of the videos associated with a book.
So no. You download the app.
Yes.
But then within the app, you have to download additional content for every book you want to access content for.
Yeah.
So it takes up so much fucking storage.
And the app is completely unoptimized, so it is just like stuttering and shuddering, and my phone is just getting so hot as we have this app open for maybe 10 minutes. And to what end? To what end? This app was excerpts from the book. And it was maybe like the first few
Literally,
sentences of a chapter.
Like 20 interviews with
And
psychologists.
followed by an interview with a psychologist, psychologically analyzing the main Nitty, the main female love interest, the Malaysian woman that the
slave he buys.
the slave he buys. And it is literally like 7 or 8 psychologists from like various like universities, like
Fighting for their life.
Oh
Fighting
my god,
for their
it is
life.
like I'm like, they are absolutely just scrambling and just trying so hard to find something interesting.
Well,
to
it's
say.
crazy that he just like told them to. I don't know if he gave them an exact script to follow or if he told them to just psychoanalyze her.
I probably paid them like $500.
He's already on the university campus. He probably went to the psychology department and just was like, "Hey, send out an email, see if anyone's interested."
So they just give like, I want to say like maybe 2-minute interviews where they give their own take on like
Nitty and how she
Nitty is
anxious attachment.
has anxious attachment and PTSD type, and just get like a very clinical analysis of this character that he created. And
all of them are saying the exact same thing.
Yeah, and it's like, all right.
I find it so interesting that it's all psychoanalyzing Nitty and no psychoanalyzing Cal.
Yeah, because he's the one who's always like doing. He's almost always doing the right thing in the book.
He's the self-insert.
He's
so
the
they
self-insert.
can't. And this is the major flaw with the book is that, like, the author doesn't treat Cal, Passport Bro. He doesn't treat him as a character.
No.
He treats him just as a
As
self-insert.
a vessel.
Yeah, and so it's very like, oh, Nitty is the crazy one who needs to be psychoanalyzed, and I'm like, I'm more interested in hearing Kel get psychoanalyzed actually, and like why he is so fixated on controlling Nitty and controlling her mental health and being the one who saves her and blah blah blah. I don't know. And so it's all psychoanalyzing Nitty. We don't know what content is there for the other books, but so just to be clear, this is only for a Passport Bro romance. The other thing that's in there that I remember very clearly is there's not just the interviews with the psychiatrist, there's also a printed interview.
Oh my god, talk about the printed interview.
There's a printed interview with Dolce and
an unnamed, in quotes, interviewer.
It doesn't say who the interviewer is. And so it's very likely that it's just Dolce asking himself questions. And so one of them is just so conspicuous, and it's just like were the events of this book based off of personal experience? And then Dolce's response is something just like they are, and I'd prefer not to talk about it.
It's just like, fuck. Oh, God.
I get it, though. I fucking get it. Everyone fantasizes about, I mean, you don't because you're normal.
Yeah.
But any creative fantasizes about being asked some just like fucking insanely egotistical question like that. So I will say, I get it. Him wanting to be asked that question. You know, everyone dreams of being able to be like, oh, please, I couldn't talk about it.
I surely couldn't.
I prefer not to talk about it.
I don't want to get into it. It's still a touchy subject.
Yeah. But it's just crazy because it's like, I don't know. When I think about just like, okay, so what really happened? So clearly, I know you weren't really I know Dolce wasn't really working at the Botanic Garden. I think what actually happened is he probably had his Passport Bro expedition, and then he bought a woman and fell in and thought he was in love with her, and then
he tried to get into more of her life,
and he
like,
took it too seriously, because in the book, guys, like it'll be like just fucking like 2 weeks into the romance, and he's like I want to marry you, and I'm like,
it's like, bruh,
it's
she's
crazy.
Not into you.
It's crazy because when it gets to the end of the book, and then Kel, the Passport Bro, he's just like, oh, maybe it was never that serious. And I'm just like, yeah, you think? It wasn't ever that serious. Because this is, and maybe this is like a sign that the writing actually isn't that bad, is that like, when I'm reading Nitty's character, I can tell that she's not that into it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that is like inconsistent in her like seeming to be overly into it, really.
Yeah. They have no chemistry.
No
Zero
fucking chemistry.
Negative there's nothing there.
I
It's
have no
just-
idea why they even like each other.
They don't.
Well, she likes him because she's pimped out to him, so she has to.
Yeah.
But
And he's just like likes her because I don't know.
he likes her because she looks like a little girl. Like he
That's-
keeps reminding us.
That's the one. Okay, this is one of the things that's just wigging me out so much about this book is that he constantly. So the dynamic in this book is like this woman wears a mask and like isn't showing her inner self to
Because
Cal.
she's his slave.
Because she's his
Because he
slave.
bought her. Of course she's not being her real self with you.
And so and Kel is like trying to encourage her to open up and drop and break free of the mask and show me your real self. Don't hide. And it's just like the thing about it is like when she's wearing the mask, she's like a child like you know.
No, when
her-
she's wearing a mask, she's Dom.
well,
Remember when she
later,
got Dom and then he
later.
got mad?
Yeah, God, we'll get to the sex scenes, but there's so much of the book where it's just like a lot of the writing of the book and their interactions is. The book is from Kel's third person from Kel's perspective, and it's entirely him, looking very excruciatingly closely at like her micro expressions and seeing like, oh, you know, I saw her smile falter a little bit, and then she shifted, and then it's as if
He is down bad, man. You're not noticing shit like that unless you're down so bad.
He's down bad. And so much is just like him over analyzing and just like very minutely inspecting her body posture, her facial expressions. Oh, now her face falls and she's closed up again and she's no longer, and now she's a child again, and she's not the woman that he saw in front of her the first night of their after their first date or whatever. And it's like, bro, chill. Dude, chill out. You gotta lay off.
I know. I mean, it's crazy because Cal just, when he talks about the relationship, like it's so deep, and he talks about them wanting to get married, and she's just like, yes, of course we'll get married. It's like, as a woman, I'm reading that and I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit. I know she's bullshitting him right now because she knows he's in too deep and she knows she needs his fucking money or whatever. And so it's just like, I know, like, as a woman reading this, it's like she's bullshitting him because like he's a rich white American and she needs his attention and to prolong that. And it's just like frustrating because it's like, how can Kel not see that this is complete bullshit from the beginning?
Because he's so down bad for her.
Why?
Because he's desperate.
What trait?
He's a desperate
what trait
white
does
man
she have?
who has no socialization skills, and so he has to go to Malaysia to buy a wife.
What traits? I guess he just likes her because she's helpless.
Well, he likes her because she's hot.
And helpless. Specifically,
yeah.
because, I mean, you've talked about how, like, it's very common for men to have, like, fantasies about saving women.
There is a subset of men who have fantasies about saving women. And it's whether if from themselves, from a bad situation, and like comforting them and bringing them up and uplifting them. And that nominally is a pretty healthy fantasy, all things considered.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about. I think it's kind of sweet.
Yeah, and it's
But-
nice, but like that you can take it a little when you're like, oh, I'm gonna be her therapist and I'm gonna bring her out of her shell slowly and help her process her trauma.
Yeah.
And I'm going to challenge her when she's not asking for it.
Yeah.
This is the other thing is she is not asking for any of this.
Yeah.
Like it's all him being like, come on, get out of your shell. Like,
And it's only like 2 months
What do
into
you
the
s-
relationship. I'm like, if you're 2 months in, you should be in the honeymoon phase. You should not be like, oh, let's process trauma together.
yeah, and I get where he's coming from with this because like a lot of men who don't know what they're doing or like aren't as experienced think that
He's
like
middle aged.
I know he's just this man. Dolce, there's a picture in the back of this book. Dolce is not a young man. He is definitely over the age of 45. Like a well-adjusted man knows when to stop, knows when to take a step back and not push a woman to
Well,
relive her trauma.
well, like a mature man is able to, or just a mature person is like able to just instinctively know, just like, you know, is this going to be a serious relationship or not? Let's think about this. I'm not going to be in Malaysia for very long. Like, this woman comes from a completely different fucking background to me.
Yeah.
Like, she is extremely attached to her family. Okay, how the fuck? Because he talks about, like, I'll bring you back to America and shit. No, you won't, because she's too attached to her family. So why did you even let yourself get the... Like, literally, as a woman in her 20s, I instinctively know this. So how is he, like, at his age, not knowing this? Like, you don't even let yourself get that attached if it has no potential to even go somewhere.
Right.
And that's what's so crazy to me about it. It's like, the problematicism is, like, one thing. It's like, okay, whatever. But, like... What really gets me is when authors like implicitly, accidentally reveal some level of just cluelessness, man. Like, how do you not know this? It would be different if Cal was like criticized narratively as like being naive in this way.
Yeah.
But it feels very half-hearted when it does address like, oh, I thought things would work out, but they didn't. So
Yeah, exactly.
it just feels like it didn't get criticized.
It
And
did-
like
it
and so
didn't.
there's this a lot of readers will read this and be just like, why the fuck does he think this is this serious, man?
Because he thinks he's in love. And then he
But
realizes
why? What does she have?
no, she's hot. She has perfectly
men
poreless
do-
skin.
Men do be like that.
She has perfectly poreless skin. She's flawless. She looks like a child even though she's in her mid-30s.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I know. So reading this book
No.
for the first 3/4 of the book, we're like, okay, this is a 35-year-old man and this is like a 21-year-old woman.
I was thinking like 18.
Or 18.
18
But
or
no,
19.
she's later in the book. She's like, "Oh, after I got back from Boston and studying from college in Boston, or 8 years ago, and it's just like, or 10 years ago, or whatever." So she's like 33 or 32 or something. It's just like, whoa, not expecting that.
Yeah.
It's just she is not characterized. This is the other thing is she's not characterized like a woman in her early to mid 30s.
No.
She's characterized like an 18-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like, yeah, you polish that off.
I'm eating Mike and Ike's that Victor generously brought home from the store for me.
Yeah. And I guess that's sort of, like,
That is what men want, though.
it is what men want.
Men want to fuck children so bad.
Yeah, it's weird because like I'm gonna qualify this qualification immediately. So to qualify it, like a lot of the stories revolved around like her being abused and emotionally and psychologically abused by her mother's like in-house maid or
Slave.
or slave. Jesus Christ, I almost said slave. Or servant or
Basically
housekeeper.
slave.
Yeah.
Fucking...
Her mom, who is crazy, and the housekeeper who loves the mom, and is just like abusing the father and the daughter, who's Nitty, and like, and the housekeeper desperately wants to like, is like, the mom is really manipulative as well or something, and the housekeeper just wants to like make Nitty like her mom in just like a basket case. The housekeeper wants to keep Nitty in like a child with like childlike imagination and like keep her really young and like
I didn't pick up on this at all.
but
I
this
picked
is
up
the-
on...
I hate the housekeeper because she gets in the way of me and my future wife.
yeah.
That's how I read it. Like,
I mean, that's how it reads.
I'm filtering through all of this, like, you know, sure, maybe if you squint,
Yeah, exactly.
there's something there. There's a more generous way to read it, but for me, I was like, okay, so obviously he's like implying this is based off of real experience.
Right,
So
exactly.
the whole time I was reading this book, I was like, all right, so what really fucking happened?
Yeah, exactly.
And so
Get
I
out
was
get out of the room. We're trying to have sex.
Yeah. You know, stop trying to pull her away from
Just
me.
just a
She's
housekeeper
just
who's just trying to like
look out for
look
her.
out
So
for
I
her.
think I bet in real life it was just like the housekeeper trying to look out for whoever real life Nitty was.
The daughter.
It was just, and I bet Nitty was not 30 in real life either.
Not. Yeah.
And so he's just like, I bet he just resented her because she was an older woman who was getting in the way of his young prize. Because he's always lingering on how the housekeeper is ugly and old and nasty.
Same thing with the mom.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of old woman hate in this book.
I hate old women, even though I'm an old man.
I know.
I only like young and childlike.
Babe, a lot of men do not change.
Men be stoop.
So I want to qualify my
Brainworm.
qualification by
Okay,
saying
what?
that he didn't have to write to characterize her as a child. Like, he didn't have to. He could have characterized her as, like, very clearly as, like, a 35-year-old woman who is, like, trying to fight against this. It could have been a lot clearer.
I know.
Like, but he leans into the childlikeness and her smooth porcelain skin and her black hair. Like, it's just like...
No, I get
there's
it, though.
no description, like, of a 30... he describes her as like a 20-year-old woman instead of a woman in her mid-30s. Like, it's just it's just weird and uncomfortable, and like there's so many I'm not going to go through them all, but there's so many text markings where it's just like, oh, interested in having sex with a child. We got to talk about the metaphors.
Oh yeah, talk about how the book jacket says Dolce Fuentes impresses his readers with giant metaphors.
Giant metaphors, magnificent obsessions, and potent ideas.
This is... Can you... Guys, listeners, can you fucking imagine picking up a book and the advertisement on the jacket is like, I don't want to blow your mind too much, but this book has ideas in it.
Potent.
There's metaphors in this.
Gigantic metaphors.
Why is, like, the rest of the packaging so... Like, he put so much effort into it, and then, God, the way he describes it just doesn't sell it.
No.
That's crazy.
You,
I mean, the writing is not terrible within the book, but
no.
God, the jacket is just terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't even pick up on the fact that the mom was paralyzed in a corner of their home.
Oh yeah, because she had a stroke.
I thought that she was in, like, an institution.
No, she was in the house.
I'm sorry, there was too many jungle descriptions.
Oh yeah, we gotta get to that.
Cal believes he's found the woman of his dreams. Why does he think that?
And he perseveres.
I don't
understand what Nitty's like hidden identity is really supposed to be.
It's never clear. I think her hidden identity is supposed to be the fact that on the inside she is a traumatized child and has always been and always will be.
Nitty's hidden identity is that she's just not that into Cal.
Yeah, I think that's
the reality.
That's the hidden reality.
I mean, and you know what? I'm gonna say something here. Men always try to fucking pathologize women who just aren't that into them.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe women do this to a degree too, but just like when a woman isn't into a man, it's always like, oh, she's so crazy. She has so many problems.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. Because I think that Cal, like, probably knew that she just wasn't that fucking into it. And so he had to just, like, I don't know, come up with this, like, oh, she's got psychological issues, but maybe I can still save her. But then it's like, because she has psychological issues, there's, like, quote unquote something else to blame when she's just not that into him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not because she doesn't like me out of her own free will. It's because the evil boogeyman is controlling her brain and making her not like me.
Yep.
No, she just doesn't like you, bro.
It's interesting because the only agency that the main character Kel has in this book is the agency to help her. And he doesn't really, like you said, like it would be fascinating to see a psychologist analyze him.
I know.
Because
he's more interesting.
He's more interesting as a character because he's freaky.
His desire to control her is what really is freaky.
It's
like
disturbing.
these moments when he is like, you know, she's had like a hard life and he's like trying to push her. And it's very sinister sounding actually. When you were actually reading this, I was like, this is reading very sinister.
It is.
Where it's just this white Westerner throwing money at you and suddenly being like, come on, trust me. Come into the lion's den. You can trust me. Open up to me. Give me your heart. Put it in my hand.
Yeah.
She's like, smart for not opening up fully with him. I don't know.
This could be, you could, with a fair amount of effort in editing and restructuring, rebrand this as a psychological thriller.
Yeah,
and
make
it could
Nitty
be far more,
protagonist.
and make Nitty the protagonist, and it could be far more effective as a story.
Yeah, and make it about him just wanting so bad for her to open up like that.
Yeah,
and like, you know, it becomes like this very weird like hunger for another person to show you their belly and their soft parts. Why do you want to like see her trauma so much, man? That's my question.
It's a man's desire to have control and to make the woman of his dreams, even when because he doesn't see her as a woman who has any agency or an inner self, or her inner self is just a child or whatever.
The broken child who's so
woman.
helpless.
Yeah.
So helpless.
Oh
yeah.
My God.
It's gross. I hate how he sees her.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the sex scenes?
Yes, we'll talk about the sex scenes.
All right, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the sex scenes by starting out about how Dolce wants to list every single species of flora and fauna
in Malaysia.
In Malaysia, period. Every single goddamn flowering plant, beetle, monkey, and animal and plant that is present in Malaysia is referenced in this book. You cannot go a page where it's like, oh, the Paropteryx beetles throng in the Berembang tree throng the Berembang trees, drunk with yearning. A fish owl hoots.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, as the reader, I don't know what these things are.
So like he's trying to
so
set the scene, but it's not generous in any capacity to the reader at all.
His cock bobbed like the nose of a brown-eared tapir.
Yes, and that's the thing.
And
is like a giant at the snout of a giant anteater.
yeah. It is like no, but it's always like just like the most like specific name possible, where it's like it feels like I'm reading a codex or something, and not like it's just not normal. Like there's one part where he talks about, so most people know mimosas as a drink, but he's like, oh, she's sweet like a mimosa. But he's talking about the flower called a mimosa,
Yeah.
the local flower that the drink was named after. And it's like, okay, but as a reader, most people know mimosas as a drink, so they're gonna read this and get tripped up.
Yeah.
I will say, I do appreciate how vivid Dolce is,
Yeah.
is trying to be.
He's trying really, really hard.
I do appreciate all the research that went into this. I, too, have looked at an encyclopedia of local flora and fauna in my time when I'm trying to get creative with my descriptions. But you just have to... I actually feel like it's more helpful to know just, like, local names for things, or, like, just a handful of species that really characterize a place, instead of being just like
listing every single thing that you see.
every single scientific name of these hyper specific. If we don't have those around, then like no one's gonna know what it is. It's like a tufted titmouse versus like a robin.
Yeah.
You know?
It does, again, it's not very generous to the intended
a gray
audience.
bunting.
Yeah.
A gray cowbird.
Oh, you read my mind. I was actually just thinking of a great
Yeah,
cowbird.
yeah. It's like, oh, a gray cowbird makes its signature noise. Okay, what is that? If you don't have those where you live, you're not gonna know what it is.
Yeah.
Choose a more common animal. Just say a monkey.
It's
It's
a
fine.
lot.
It's
Like
immersive, babe.
it nominally adds to the vibe of the book being stinky and like wet and like jungly, but it's really clunky and
Yeah.
it's not very good.
And it appears in the sex.
And it appears in the sex. So the
Slut.
first sex scene, which I want to say, I just read this. I have I have 3 pages. Whenever we
Are
have,
you gonna include the racial slur?
oh, I'm gonna include the racial slur. Don't worry. So first, I want to just start off. The sex scenes are all unbearable because
they're just
there's no
perplexing.
there's no chemistry. They're all weird and clinical and detached. First sex scene, he says she's as hairless as a child.
That's
Bad.
That is vile.
That is not good.
That is a really bad thing to say in a sexual context.
She's as hairless as a child. For you, she whispers, stepping closer. Her smooth, well,
Bleep.
her smooth is the flesh of a doll. She knows how to arouse men, and that's what she's doing. She's unfastening his belt. He does nothing to stop her. It's just so stilted and unsexy and not interesting. Then the instinct of lust emerges from hibernation, opening its eyes and looking around. Opening its eyes and looking around.
Nitty's face is in darkness.
Oh no, she fell to darkness. Blah 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 blah. What's this text note say? Yeah, there's nothing like interesting. I'm a tailor bird, Kel sings, sewing leaves with strands of silk. An army of weaver ants knitting a nest. A botanist splicing jeans. And it's just like, what's he talking about? This is sex. Like, what are you thinking about? The woman beside him rocked onto her back. Flesh smooth and rubbery. Ew. A frog in the jungle. And then we get this fucking line. Can a man find bliss with a frog? He can if he's not too proud. A frog on a trembling leaf, spotted and streaked. A frog in the mud, eyes bulbed, lips on your cheek. A frog in a tree, stuck on a branch, eyes slitted and sultry, or leaping into the air, harlequin pink.
The frog has her calves by his neck, knees bent on either side of his head, legs folded over his shoulders. Has he teased the amphibian from her?
So, king shit for eating her out, but not king shit for thinking of her as a frog.
Or a child.
Or a child.
Or a doll.
Or a doll.
F minus.
F minus. God. His hands slide down the froggy thighs through the mucid flume and around her backside where it's soft and fleshy. This is not sexy. This is not fun. I would not be having fun.
Mucid flume.
Mucid flume. That's a new one. You can put that one in your next book. Froggy.
I don't think I will.
Froggy.
I am too proud.
Froggy hands hold his head.
Maybe one of the Commodus fanfic writers could take that one.
The frog's middle is silky, her heart nippled, her inside slick.
Her heart nippled.
What?
Is nipple a verb?
I think it is, but you gotta using that verb in the middle of sex. I think you can use that word in a better way. He's in the water with her, stroking in tandem, frogging across the moonlit pool, followed by the text marking by me. This is the worst thing. Then a reflex, shock, muscles lock and spasm, and with a suck and a croak, the wogging issue. Oh my God. With a suck and a croak, the wogging issue pours out of him, blanching the water. That is the... Fellas, have you ever... who up woggin' they issue?
So that's a racial slur too, by the way.
Yeah.
So not in America, I don't think, but we looked up, is that a word?
A word, period.
Is it a word at all? And WOG is apparently specifically some kind of racial slur against Southeast Asian people. So it's not even just a random slur. It's like a slur that could be applied to nitty.
Yeah, it's...
But it's literally referring to...
his... I don't have a lot of words for that one.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah. Page 35, text marking, chapter 2. Beginning of chapter 2, text marking says, "This is the longest book ever."
Yeah.
And it was.
It wasn't even 200 pages.
Yeah, this was a long read. And it was a hard read. And
what else is long enough?
My wogging issue. Gliding hands, mossy hair, the muscled skin is dew damp, and the slots between are as slippery as white jelly fungus. No, you gotta shut the fuck up.
This is what we mean by Dolce using too many just like jungle speak. He like watched too many documentaries before he wrote this. Like, why would you bring up white jelly fungus during sex?
It's not.
The worst imagery.
Yeah.
I'm sure his defense would be like, Oh, but see, it's meant to show their relationship was corrupted by the jungle.
The
and
jungle /
harshness
the
of
evil, mean old lady.
the harshness of the jungle. And in that case, it's like, okay, well, why even write it then? Like, why did that have to take place? Why did you have to show the corruption or whatever by making a sex scene really gross?
A lot of the book is just them having sex.
Yeah.
Him trying to coax her out of her shell when she clearly doesn't want it. And then and then all of the drama happens in the last, I want to say, 6th of the book, where like he realizes something about like how she's never getting out of her shell, and so he just ghosts her for a little bit, and she's like trying to text him, and then he makes a fucking scene at a coffee shop.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, is it over?
And everyone's
he's
looking at them.
And he's like, I don't want it to be. And everyone's like looking at them.
Why the fuck? This is my fucking question, alright? So, why are they always fucking at her house? Doesn't he have a place they can go back to? If he's worried about the fucking parents and shit watching? And my other thing is, okay, so presumably since he's here for a couple of months, he should have a place to go back to. So why did they not have this discussion in private at his place if they didn't want like the housekeeper or whatever to see it? Why didn't they have that in private instead of at the coffee shop?
Because he wanted to look like a movie and be dramatic.
It makes him come across as incredibly immature. And I think that him being immature like that really undermines any ability to read him as like a potential savior for her.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes him look super fucking naive. In fact, through this whole thing, he really has just like the mentality of like an 18-year-old boy. It really doesn't come across as like, oh, you're a more experienced man who will take good care of her. Instead, it comes across as like, you have the mentality of an 18-year-old boy and you're playing at maturity that you don't actually have.
Yeah.
I think it would be fine if it was self-aware about that,
sure.
actually.
Yeah, oh yeah. If there was an ounce of self-awareness in this book,
It would be totally fine.
Yeah.
Then I would be on the Dolce defense squad wholeheartedly.
I would not. I honestly, I feel like it would not be good content for literary losers if it was self-aware.
It's because it's not.
It's because it's not. Is because it is. They meet. Then for 3/4 of the book, they're just having sex and just retreading the same thing.
And she becomes Dom for a bit.
Oh yeah, so after they make up at the coffee shop, after everyone's just like looking over their shoulders at this fighting couple, like they make up and she becomes Dom and he's like sucks her toes or whatever, like literally dead ass.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the toe fetish.
You forgot about the foot fetish. That's probably healthy.
I think that was a day when I was like
sleeping when I was reading, and I was fucking raw dogging it by myself. Thanks, Fran.
Don't say raw dogging in this context.
Yeah, but her dogs were out.
Her dogs were out. I miss the commodus porn, to be honest.
Well, babe,
that's like fun bad porn.
That's
this is
like,
just like I don't want to know.
This is it's.
I liked when Commodus almost cracked his skull open, taking her to the second floor indoor pool in the Roman palace.
They were drunk and swimming in the pool
on the second floor of the Roman palace.
Oh God. Ugh. They make up, they have wild sex where she's Dom, and then her dad dies very suddenly.
Yeah, that's like the only
that comes
place,
out of nowhere.
That's the only place where the pacing just is like not the pacing, but it's not really given appropriate weight.
Right.
I feel like
it's not like this is the thing. It's like
happens.
Like they make up, she becomes Dom, and they agree that he's like, we're gonna become husband and wife. You're gonna move to America with me, and I'll save your father as well. We'll bring him over as well. And she's like, yes, let's do that. And then her father, like the same, like 2 pages later, her father dies. It's not really given a lot of weight. Like it's clear
Yeah.
that Mr. Dolce went to a funeral in Malaysia and saw certain traditions or whatever, and he tries to incorporate those.
I don't remember. I think I was asleep
You
for
were
this.
absolutely asleep. And then I think he intended it to be really sad, but it just does not come off like that at all. And then the housekeeper comes back in at the 11th hour, and what happens is they have sex one last time, and he trips out. Oh, and throughout this whole story there's this metaphor of like the swamp on their property, and there's this big snake that's like traumatizing, like this big python that's like traumatizing Nitty, and like
I never understood
I
what
never
that was a giant metaphor
was-
that stumped me actually.
that metaphor was too big to put in my mouth. I couldn't digest that at all. And so it's like the swamp water is stinky and bad, and the snake is bad. And then at the very end of the book, they have like I guess a shared like drug-induced hallucination trip where the snake eats her, and in real life she is coaxed by the housekeeper to like be broken, and she like has like a full mental, I don't know, I guess ego death, and she just like becomes like a child again, and then Kel leaves, and that's the end of the book. Like there's no fanfare. The last chapter is so rushed,
Yeah.
and that's like, you weren't like, for the most part the book is well paced, but that last chapter is just like, oh, 30% of the plot happens in 20 pages.
You know what I don't really get?
What?
I don't really get why why this author is specifically giving his books out for free at college campuses. Like, you're writing like what is supposed to be highbrow literary fiction. Why the fuck are you giving it to free? Like, you're not giving it to the right audience for free. You should be giving it to libraries, like places where older people who probably have more established literary taste and like more refined taste at least want to read stuff, because they would potentially get something out of this. Just like, retired guys going to the library or whatever. Like, I feel like that is more like an audience that might actually enjoy this. Like, you're giving this to 18-year-old college boys who brag about having never read a book in their entire education. It's just like, okay, like, no wonder they don't like it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just say, like, when you think about what 18 to 22-year-olds are reading, it's not stuff like this. They're not reading literary fiction generally. They're reading porn, smut, romance, sci-fi, manga, like, that kind of stuff. Especially because people are just maturing later in life now.
Yeah.
So
no college student wants to read a love story between a 45-year-old and a 34-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to go for these like higher level themes. That's not what people in that age bracket even want. And he's not gearing it towards professors. So I don't know. This is my question. I'm like, why are you even giving them out there specifically?
It feels like it could do much better in like the suburbs, like I don't know, like a book group, a single mom's book group could read this or something.
Yeah, I don't think women would like it because the perspective is so masculine.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, it takes for granted that the reader will be able to sympathize and like understand where Kel is coming from. When in reality, like as a woman reading this, I was mostly in Nitty's head this whole time.
Yeah.
Like Kel, I'm just like, oh, he's just a delusional guy. But
Yeah.
I think like, you know, older retired men, maybe.
I guess.
Like, you know, divorced white men
Divorced white men.
who golf as a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
But why is he
and
not?
or men who are unhappy, old men who are unhappy in their marriages.
Yeah, why is he not targeting that as his audience? He would do a lot better.
Because something
He could make some buddies and just, I don't know.
Because like I think Mr. Dolce, he's writing it for himself.
I love how neither of us want to say Fuentes
Yeah,
for the fear that it will get put somewhere bad in the algorithm.
God.
I know I'll get more tadpoles in my fucking comments.
Yeah. My guess is that Mr. Dolce Fuentes, he is obviously writing this. His audience is himself because he doesn't know how to write for an audience. Clearly, the thing about it is he also wants it to be treated like literature. And where are all the academics who could analyze his book, who could psychoanalyze his characters? They're on college campuses. So
no,
you don't think
come
he's trying to
on.
disseminate
Why
it
is he giving it out to undergrads then?
He's just giving it out to get the word around. Maybe some graduate literature student will pick it up and be like, we need to analyze this.
No, because if the wrong people are getting the word out, your shit's gonna be dead in the water.
But he doesn't know that.
I don't know. Like I'm very like aware of this because I've made similar mistakes before. Because I too used to think, oh, like I can just give anyone my work to read and they'll get it. And I didn't realize that if I handed my work to oversensitive little babies who are going to comb through it for just because they're foaming at the mouth, they don't even like reading. They just like combing through and trying to find problematic shit. And then straight up, I ended up with a bunch of people just lying about me saying shit that I didn't in what was objectively the most wholesome book that I'm probably ever gonna write. Like, because I had hope back then. And so anyway, but it's just like you have to be careful not to just hand out your shit to anybody. It's way better to just target a specific audience who are more likely to like it. Yeah. Because otherwise you're gonna end up with everyone giving you like 1 star. Like he has, where it's just fucking, you know, frankly, I don't believe a lot of these people giving this shit 1 star actually like read it in good faith. Because if you read it in good faith, this book is like, I don't know, 2-3 star. It's not a 1 star book. And you know, if you're in the target audience, it might be a 4 or 5 star.
Yeah.
Because there are plenty of, again, divorced white men who would love this shit. But you shouldn't.
Divorced white tech, like old tech bro.
No,
men.
not tech bro. I'm thinking like just old business guys who golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who fantasize about marrying a Malaysian woman.
Yeah, well, they'll be like, wow, this is so deep.
Wow, Nitty is so exotic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit... It just makes me wonder, I mean, if this is what he wants to do and just put his artwork out there to wherever, you know? But it makes me sad that it is... Like, I know we just spent a while roasting it, but, like, I don't think it deserves the treatment that it's got. I think it's a little bit disproportionate.
It is.
I think there are other books that really, like, where they need to get lower ratings, where the author is just, like, spamming crap and needs a wake-up call. But people are like, oh, he's spamming crap. I don't think he's spamming, like, super poor quality stuff.
This is,
you know?
Like, it's bad, but it really is not anywhere close to, like, the worst book that we've read.
No.
Like, this is...
No.
There are parts of this book that can be seen as competent.
I think this could literally probably get trad published, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's good enough. Like, I mean, the level to which Barnes and Noble has lowered the bar,
Oh my god.
like, or just, you know, I mean, but it's not Kylo Ren porn, so it won't get published. But
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I think it's actually good enough to be trad published. And that's not me being like, oh, this is an amazing book, go read it either. I just think very, like, you know.
Poorly of traditional publishing.
Well, but give me a book deal, because I can fix it. Well.
Well, got anything else to say about Mr. Fuentes?
I've got... Everyone needs to shut up about the other Mr. Fuentes, too. I'm getting tired. Oh, he said this crazy thing on his stream. Why were you watching his stream?
Yeah. Why are you going on Rumble and giving them your money?
I'm getting... What's Rumble?
That's the right-wing streaming and...
Rumble?
I think it's called Rumble. It's right-wing... It's the right-wing YouTube, I think.
Rumble. It's really called Rumble?
I think it's called Rumble. Let me double check. It's one of the...
Don't double check that.
I'm not going to go on the...
Know.
Okay.
I don't want to know. Don't even look it up.
Okay.
I'm getting tired of hearing about that shit. Everyone just ignore it and it'll go away.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have nothing more to say about Dolce.
I think we're ready to shelve this one. I do want you to get a picture. There's a scene where he puts his hands in his pants. And I drew I'm very proud of the drawing that I made. Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Immediately after the funeral, he puts his something. He puts his. Oh, I read. He puts his hand in his pants, but it said he puts his hand in his pants pocket. So it's just a very good drawing.
There's something unexpected in it.
There's something. He draws out the object, a miniature shovel, 5 inches long.
Why did he say that? Why did he write that?
Babe, I think that one's on us. I think we just did not.
No, it's not. Never accept blame from Dolce.
From a man. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
Anything else, Fran?
No.
We're gonna close this one.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna be reading the next installment in the Expelling the Darkness series. So, catch up on those.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.